Hi, my name is Dale Turner, and I teach a variety of accompanimental guitar styles here at Musicians Institute in Hollywood. And this particular figure here was a Dave Matthews style picking figure with some nice open chords, nice resonating open strings in the upper register. Kind of modeled after his famous tune Crash Into Me from the album Crash. And we're going to kind of take a look at the different ingredients here that make this speak the way it does. We have a syncopated bass line, the bass notes jumping out with each chord change, and between the cracks of each of those heavy, obvious bass notes, a fairly quick 16th note strum in the upper register of some open strings and a fretted shape we'll talk about in a moment. So if you're looking at your example here, you'll see 4 chords: C sharp minor 7, E with the G sharp in the bass, A sus2, and E5. Okay, 2 chords per bar, which in a typical song you might notice would be falling in half notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. What instantly makes this groovy is that Matthews staggered the second and fourth chords so that they fall on 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So the first thing we're going to do that taps into that groove is some of the bass notes on the bottom 2 strings. So I'll pick these out and I'll count you in, and I'll count along with it, but it'll be fairly slow. Follow along, should be no problem. 2, 3, 4. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so that's the bass line. A little quicker at the actual tempo, it'd be more like this. Okay, but the real trick here is keeping that moving while this resonating E5 shape rings out on top of everything. Okay? So the important thing, what you're going to need to do in order to keep this voicing ringing, is this finger here and this finger here never going away, while these fingers, primarily your ring finger, does the work with the bass notes. Okay? So again, here's the chord. Make sure all 4 notes ring out crystal clear. We're going to now add this shape to the bass line we did a moment ago. And that's where you get C sharp minor 7, E with a G sharp in the bass, A sus2, and E5. And what I'm going to want you to do as a consideration for your fret hand, especially with the E with the G sharp in the bass chord and your E5, you're going to want to make sure that the 5th string doesn't ring out and ruin the sound of your riff. Meaning right here, 3rd finger, the underside of the 3rd finger killing off the open A string for E with a G sharp in the bass. E5, same thing. The tip of your index finger now, right here, touching the 5th string. So you got a big, powerful resonance, not messed up with that open A string. So we're going to put the chords together at a slow tempo. I'll count you in, and then we'll do it again at the regular speed just to make sure you can shift the chords at the proper pace. 3, 4. A little bit quicker, actual crash tempo. 3, 4. Okay, so now we have some nice resonating, colorful voicings. The missing ingredient, of course, that brings it to the what you'd recognize as being the Matthews classic is the syncopated 16th note strums of the upper strings. Before we get to that, though, you need to make sure that your picking hand is moving in the proper alternation between down and up strokes and the rhythm. So 16th notes throughout. If this is the pulse, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Your pick should never be moving any differently than this. What's going to make the rhythm happen is when you actually contact the string with your pick. So the next figure is just an exercise where we're going to have a muted scratch sound with this rhythm. And I'll count you in and see if you can lock in. We'll slow it down a little bit. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1. Performance tempo, much quicker. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so the reason that I'm actually obsessing on this just for a second here is to make sure that you're not one of those strumming picker folk that I do see that kind of forget to keep your right hand, your picking hand, grooving in sync with the actual subdivision of the pulse. Meaning if you're one of the people that starts finding yourself doing this, it's going to be very difficult for you to keep it in the pocket and actually bring it up to tempo. Make sure you're bouncing along in 16th notes and training your pick hand to contact the strings at the right moment to bring out the rhythm. We're going to now try that rhythm actually with the actual figure you see written down there, where we're going to bring out the bass note and then the upper register of each chord. Like that. So you want to make sure that your pick is digging into the bass strings, not hitting all the strings at once, so the bass jumps out as a separated entity, then strumming the upper register. I'll count you in, we'll do it slow, and then we'll bring it up to Matthew's speed. 2, 3, 4. Okay, I think you're probably ready to bring it up to the actual tempo now. 3, 4. Speed it up a little bit. Okay. So that right there is generally the accompaniment texture you'll hear throughout the verses. There's a kind of a fancy sounding section somebody might describe as an interlude, where you hear Dave Matthews and Tim Reynolds, who you may or may not know is another steel string acoustic guitar player that Matthews collaborates with often. And the recording itself, the studio recording, Reynolds is doubling Matthews' parts similarly. But in the interlude, you hear them split off to bring out a little melody line on top of the same chords. So to give you an idea how to do that yourself, we're going to refinger our C-sharp minor 7 chord like this. Second finger, first finger, third finger, fourth finger, which makes it possible to use your index finger to bar across the second fret of the first string to catch that F sharp on the top note, top string. Okay, you should see that in the chord frame there. You can actually do that with each of the 4 chords in this same progression. In the figure you have in front of you, we're going to just do it with these 2 chord shapes though. And the rhythm is similar to the verses, but just so you can kind of tighten up the variations here, I'll start in on it slowly for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Of course, much faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, well that gives you an idea of some of the interesting open position voicings you can get, again with the open strings resonating there, and a nice jangly texture. And you'll find many other sources of inspiration as you continue to study different Matthews pieces. All sorts of great picking and great voicings. Well, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. And please visit us down here at MI in Southern California. Thanks a lot.